Look at you, girl, going all out.
I only meet up with her like once or twice a month. I don't have time. I have kids
Well,
and work. I was working like 6 days a week. I worked yesterday. I like got him some more contacts and set up events and stuff. And right before I left, and then I turned in my badge.
At least you went out with that.
I did.
We're good. We're good. Perfect. Okay. All right, we're gonna get nice and cozy here.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, this is good. No, this is perfect. Okay. All right, welcome. We are back live. We had some technical difficulties yesterday. Facebook was going a little haywire, but we're back. You can't keep us down. We got another great episode coming for you today. We are joined by a friend of the show, Miss Josie. Miss Josie, say hi. So what we're gonna do is, Josie's got a pretty extensive background in working with a lot of different places within the medical marijuana industry here in Florida. She's got a really extensive background in the medical industry as well. And we'll explain that in just a little bit. But first, before we get started, make sure you guys are following us on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and wherever you listen to podcasts, whether that's on Spotify, Google Play, or on Apple iTunes. We are everywhere, so you can't get away from us. So if you take a screenshot that you are actually following us, okay, we believe you, but just in case, you will get a t-shirt, okay? You can rep a green relief, join the family, and make sure you're up on all of the news because people will ask you questions, believe me, okay? So let's jump into it. Miss Josie, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved into the medical industry?
Wow. I've been in the medical field 15 years, and I got into the field because I care about educating patients and just having that interaction with patients in general.
Yeah.
10 of those years I did stem cell research at a hospital.
Nice.
So I was able to work directly with laboring moms and talk about like cord banking and the importance of that. I was blessed with the opportunity to get training at Duke University for a short period of time as well. And the last year and a half, I worked at a dispensary, and I was able to connect with patients there and work in medical cannabis. And it's been really fun and exciting. I love educating patients, and a big part of that was going over the strains and the differences between CBD and THC, and also going to the doctor's offices and visiting there and helping out patients understand, and doctors as well, how to put in the recommendations and how to understand how everything came together with the registry and the dispensary and how that all like tied together.
So you basically, I mean, you are really comfortable with talking to patients, breaking things down, and
I think we're missing the biggest point here, dude.
exactly.
She's coming in from a dispensary side. She's what you always call like a bud tender. So before even going there to the doctor office, you set up. Let's go back. You were able to go to doctor offices and break down the differences between the recommendation and teach them how to use the registry.
Yeah, like the registry itself, like when they get their license and when they take that 2-hour course, it doesn't go over anything else. It's just...
That's exactly what I wanted to
Yeah.
See?
You're fishing for it.
I wasn't fishing. She laid it out. Take your time. Go ahead.
So yeah, it's not enough training. Like doctors are pretty much, they're getting certified, but it doesn't go over how the milligrams work or how many days they should put in each order for. They don't understand. It's really hard. It's difficult because they're used to writing prescriptions for, regular medications and things like that, and not cannabis. It all works differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes we would have doctors put in 300 milligrams or 600 milligrams for like 70 days. And we were like, how is this gonna work? This is not enough to even get a cartridge or a bottle of CBD oil, THC oil.
Wow.
So getting out there and educating the doctors a little bit about like how it all worked at the dispensary, helped them understand how to put in the milligrams and how long, and that they can schedule orders, and just making them feel comfortable with it all. A lot of physicians also got registered with the state, and months later they still were not doing anything with their with their license because they didn't understand how to do it. They were just like, I did it, but now I'm afraid that something's gonna happen, or I don't want the patient to overdose.
Right.
You know, like to to purchase too many milligrams or get too much of it. So
well, that's
it was going over all of those things as well, so that when the patients did come over to the dispensary, they were like a little bit more comfortable and kind of understood and knew what was gonna happen. Sometimes they didn't. I mean, there's more events and more doctors' offices doing things and partnering up with dispensaries to have somebody come out and speak with them and speak with the patients, and so that they know how it all ties together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're definitely going to touch on all of that in just a minute. But I want to back up before we get into the juicy stuff, because people don't just fall into this industry or this field, right? Of medical cannabis. Tell us your experience on how you and Carrie met and how you kind of got involved in this whole field.
Yeah. So I was always interested, an advocate for medical cannabis when my mom got diagnosed with cancer a couple of years ago. I knew there had to be other alternatives and other types of medication to help, especially with people taking, chemo and radiation. There's so many different types of chemo, different types of radiation, and everybody reacts to it differently. And most of the common side effects are like excruciating pain from the treatment. Nausea, vomiting, not eating, not having any type of energy, or just being like depressed because of the whole situation and the whole scenario. So that's when I started looking into it, and I started reading articles and watching a lot of YouTube videos on, different states doing like the medical cannabis. And like when I saw the videos on the Rick Simpson oil and stuff like that, then that really pulled me in. I was like, okay, this is actually helping treat cancer, and it's helping. So I talked to my mom about it, and it took her a couple of years to even try CBD, because that old school mentality, I'm doing drugs, I'm doing marijuana. She was crying at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
When I took her.
Where's mom from again?
My mom is from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have the island mentality. Not just old school, but the island
old school. Yeah. She was like, I'm gonna be doing weed, and my grandkids are gonna see me, and all that stigma that a lot of people have. And I helped her kind of steer away from that stigma. She was seeing a lot of me coming home and telling her stories like, Mom, it's helping this patient. You have to try it. You have to try it. They're saying that it's working, and I'm seeing the results. People were coming in feeling a lot better, coming in a better mood. People that were using crutches were not using crutches anymore, and they were able to go grocery shopping or cut their grass, fold laundry, just normal things that they couldn't do because their pain was so bad.
Yeah. Stuff that we take for granted every day.
Stuff that we take for granted every day, yeah. So the oncologist was like, yeah, just try the CBD oil. It's not going to harm you any. And that's when Carrie used to come into the dispensary.
Look at that. He knows exactly what you're talking about, too.
But we were able to talk, and I reached out to him literally the next day. He got my mom into the office, and I was like, listen, my mom is a cancer patient, and she's in excruciating pain. She's sleeping 2 hours a night, and then she would get up moaning and screaming. The painkillers were making her vomit, making her more sick.
Ugh, yeah.
So I talked to him, and he was like, yeah, come in tomorrow. And I was like, tomorrow? And he was like, come in tomorrow. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, the first appointment, we were in and out. It probably took 20 or 30 minutes because I was able to give her a little bit of that education beforehand. So she was familiar, and she's been ready to go. And awesome testimony is that the last 3 months they stopped her chemo because the CBD oil minimized the tumor so small that they actually stopped the chemo.
Wow.
So then I was like, you
That's
see,
huge.
Mom, it's working. I mean, she knows when she's running low, she tells me okay, I need more capsules, I need more oil, because she knows. I mean, she has built a regimen with it, and she knows how it works, and she is all about it now. Yeah. I mean, she did a 360-degree with this whole the mentality of I'm doing cannabis, I'm doing weed,
right?
To now she tells me when it's running low, this is helping her. She's sleeping 4 to 6 hours instead of the 2.
Yeah, that's huge. When you get somebody that's so against it, and I think that's where you come in. And you're so important not only to the doctors and the patients, but just the disconnect between people who are going from the doctor's office to the dispensaries You know, there's so much stigma tied around it that everyone assumes, and we'll get to this too with this new bill that passed, that everything automatically is going to go to smokable marijuana. There's different things that you can do. I mean, your mother is taking just CBD, and it's helping so much. And it's
helping, yeah. And she's tried like the 1-to-1 and tried other products, but she doesn't like the high as much. Some people need a little bit of the high because their pain is more excruciating, or they need it to help them eat more because their appetite is suppressed. But the CBD has done, I mean, amazing for her. I mean, they stopped her chemo for 3 months.
Wow.
So
That's
even
so
the doctor
huge.
was like, wow, it's like, you know, the treatment is really working. And I was like, no, it's the CBD. You know, she's been doing CBD all these months, and she never had this progress. This was her 3rd time having cancer. So she's never had that progress with treatment. She's tried different chemo. She's done radiation.
Yeah.
She never had it. It would keep coming back.
Is this the only thing different that you guys introduced into her regimen?
Exactly, yeah. The only difference significantly was the CBD. As soon as we started that, she was able to sleep. Her pain was like gone.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And
so I'm grateful.
So how did talk to us about that process when she came into the office? You know, who did she see? Who did she talk to? What was that appointment like for her? What do you think was going through her mind?
She was really nervous
when
she came in, and she was like looking around to see if somebody was gonna see her coming in here.
Came in with a disguise.
Just coat. Like the old school mentality, you know, like oh my gosh, there was a reality check when we came in here. But everybody, as soon as we came in, they were like super friendly. Everybody's really amazing here. And I talked to her, and they were like making her feel comfortable. Like, it's okay, you know, this is just like you would a checkup, like a normal checkup at a doctor visit.
That's exactly how you explained it. It's a normal checkup. It's a normal physical. We're just talking. That's all we're doing here.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
And then the doctor went over with her a lot of the stuff that I spoke with her about, but it was good coming from the doctor. I mean, because it makes it more valid, you know?
Exactly.
Like it took her 3 years to even make the decision, but when the oncologist was like, yeah, I'm all about it, I'm all for it, try it out, she was like, okay. Like she cried in the office for a little bit, but because she was like, I'm actually going to be doing this. But when he gave her the okay, then, you know, anything that a doctor says, pretty much everybody goes along with. So she was okay with it. Yeah, it was doctor approved. She came in. Like I said, the appointment went real smooth. It was like 20 to 30 minutes. He explained to her what to try first and how it was going to affect her, like the benefits of CBD and THC, both on both sides. And it was great. I mean, like we got in right away. She got approved within the 10 days from the state, which was great. They had already put in the doctor's order before she was even approved, so the doctor's order was in there. So when she got approved, it was just a very smooth transition.
Yeah, that's the key right there, the transition. So how did you get involved then? I guess with the dispensaries.
I was emailing, I think, the dispensary before they even opened, to be honest, because I was already looking into.
What's wrong with your bad self?
Determined. I just wanted to be a part of it so badly because I knew that this was helping and treating conditions, and people were able to get off of opioids and get treatment for cancer and epilepsy and all these different conditions. ADD, ADHD. I mean, there's like a long list. Parkinson's as well. Like patients were coming in with that and coming in a lot better and saying like, I'm having less seizures. I'm doing, you know, like this. But yeah, I just got involved. I was an advocate before, and I was emailing them, I think, for like a year until they finally hired me.
Wow.
How long again?
Almost a year.
12 months. Get your stuff together, whoever this was.
I mean, now it's a lot easier, but I was constantly sending like emails like, hey, I'm interested in working in the medical cannabis industry. I want to be a part of this. I have 13 at that time, like 13 plus years of medical background. I just want to be a part of the community and educating people and helping people understand that, this works. Yeah. It works. It's helping treat many, many different conditions helping people with all walks of life.
And you'll, and again, we'll get to that. We're working our way down to, how you explain to patients on different conditions and things like that. So you finally got in with the dispensaries. What was, like your typical job there? What were you doing on a daily basis in the dispensaries?
Checking people in. I mean, you get the atmosphere ready before you even open. clean from top to bottom, get everything all cleaned up, but checking people in and as soon as they're coming in, just collecting their information, and as soon as they were checked in, once they crossed over, if they were not a patient, we would give them information on how to get registered with the state. Like we had brochures, like, hey, these are the steps to getting registered.
Hopefully they were good relief brochures.
Telling them to do their research with the doctors and make sure they were a doctor that was legit and that they were going to explain everything and go over everything. Once they went back there, we went over all of the different strains that we carried there, the benefits of CBD and THC, different strains, sativas, hybrids, indicas, how it all affects everybody differently. Some people need the sativas because they have a hard time just getting things done and getting up out of the bed in the morning. So they want to do sativas. People need help sleeping because they have PTSD or insomnia or just because their pain is so bad. So do indicas. And hybrids are really good as well. So just going over all of that, going over the registry as well and showing them, like, this is your profile. This is how it all works. This is how many days the recommendation is good for. This is what you can purchase today. You have CBD oral or THC oral, just breaking everything down so that when they left there, they understood and felt comfortable with the whole thing. Because a lot of people did come in there really nervous. Like, I've never been in here, I don't know what to expect. And we were like, well, that's what we're here for. We're here to give you guidance. And we're here to guidance. Guidance was like the key word, and trial and error.
Exactly.
We would always tell them, like, try everything out, try it at different dispensaries, try it all out. You have to see what works best for you. You're gonna choose. The ultimate goal is to get better, and to see a significant difference with the medical cannabis.
I know.
So,
Did you hear yourself? Try it all out. Man, shout out to the doctor offices who are not doing their job. You went from being a bud tender to being a medical assistant to educating patients. Now, you had patients breaking, honestly, their confidentiality of their medical history with you, without sending a medical waiver, talking to you on what they need to get done. You know how horrible that must have been for them? But you made it so comfortable for them. You made it easy. That's I take my hat off to you. Because for anybody, because honestly, anybody who's been to a dispensary understands. It's just like a jewelry store, guys. You walk in there, and you're talking to somebody just like this, in the same exact tone. The person right next to you is hearing it. They're hearing that we got HIV. They're hearing that we have A, B, and C, and it's tough to go through. And you make it so accessible for them. That's amazing. Honestly, it really truly is.
Well, somebody with your background as a bud tender, it's. I'm sure you can give such a detailed recommendation for this person, and when the average person walks into that dispensary, obviously you are trying to make them feel comfortable, right? Really good customer service, telling them, hey, I would recommend this, this, and this.
But I think you missed out. You see, it wasn't her bud tender experience that made her so good. It was her medical existence for 13 years at the time going in there. Being able to understand what anxiety is. You know how people know what anxiety is? They don't know what PTSD is. They think it's words we're adding up. Like, they don't understand what Crohn's is. Like, Crohn's is a huge, huge thing where nobody really understands what and how cannabis can help you. The THC factor is not part of that. It's straight CBD. The THC is what you want for your mental. That's a great condition. I talk to a lot of bud tenders about, and they're like,
But that's the point, though. What do you see coming in, the average person that comes in? It sounds like they're not being educated on their condition by the doctor, or how the CBD is affecting them. It's just saying, hey, this is what you have, this is what I recommend. And then it's, okay, well, what's going on here? And that's where you really came in.
But they wasn't even recommending. They just gave him a script and they said, go see it. Go, hopefully you see somebody who's lucky to see Miss Chelsea.
Exactly. There's a huge disconnect.
I'm telling you, you were on the side where you got to educate. On this side of the fence, it's a whole different ballgame. You guys aren't getting the phone calls of, you didn't tell me this. You're not getting the patients that, like, how smart you are. No pun intended. You're a genius when it comes to this field. Imagine a person who just started the training, who doesn't really understand certain things. They're going to sell them what's hot. Try everything. Well, we take CanPay now. Use it. Every old person out there now is able to take their their bank account now with all the money's at the bank account. They're spending $600-$700 there, and they're busting our bus for $250. Well, for education, they want to come back for their second visit. Same thing you guys are telling them there. It's really cool for what you do, honestly.
Thank you.
So what are you doing now then? How are you staying involved in the community? How are you educating people now?
Hopefully coming on board with us.
Working with Carrie.
There we go. There we go. Breaking news.
Breaking news. Yeah, just hopefully big things coming in the future, because my goal is to help future patients and patients understand like the difference between CBD and THC, and that it is trial and error. And depending on your condition, like if you get the right education, you're gonna be able to decipher like, okay, I'm gonna lean more towards a 1-to-1, or I don't want THC, or I don't want sativa, I want a hybrid, or I want an indica. Being able to educate patients to understand that more and feel comfortable with the whole experience.
Yes.
Like
yes.
coming in like, this is medical. It's not about getting high. It's about treating your condition. It's about feeling better. It's about not being depressed anymore, you know, not being anxious. Being able to drive. There was patients that were coming in, they were like, I wasn't able to drive like from here to there.
So
like
you're
even to go to the
reason
grocery
why
store,
I-4 is
you
so
know?
packed now, okay? You got the I-4 drivers back on, okay?
So it was like really, really good to see those patients coming back and be like, I was able to drive today. Like I was able to drive myself here today.
Really?
And I was like, wow. Like those small things that we take for granted all the time. Yeah, it was amazing to see people from all walks of life, from all different kind of conditions come in, and just seeing the change, like the positive change, and suggesting things, because we couldn't really recommend, because the doctors recommend when they put in the
Finally, she said it.
But
They didn't do their job, and you guys had to. You know how hard that is to do? How do you recommend to somebody what to take, and you're a bud tender? Oh, I love you so much.
Gold.
So
Gold
yeah.
right now.
I love it.
It was going over all of that. But again, like the more education we get out there, not only to the doctors, but doing events and just getting out into the community, people will understand it more and feel more comfortable with it, and not seeing as, oh, it's a drug. People are just doing it to get high. No, it's medical. It's helping all walks of life. There's kids using it, you know, and when people would speak negatively like that, like, oh, people are just doing it to get high or whatever, and there's going to be a bunch of stoners. And I'm like, so you're calling my mother a stoner?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I was taking it, because I was like, she's using it for her cancer. Like, why would you say people just want to get stoned?
And she's not even getting stoned.
And she's not even getting stoned.
Well, for those who are watching, explain the difference between CBD and THC. You know, if you're talking to a patient who has no idea, break that down for the viewers.
Okay, so CBD helps with Carrie, stop. Yeah, CBD helps with inflammation, it helps with pain, it helps with anxiety, it helps with diabetes, it helps with depression, it helps with epilepsy, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, people with all types of conditions, and ADD, ADHD. It was helping with everything, and it's explaining to them, okay, CBD, no psychoactive effects, no high. So you could use it if you need to go to work, you can use that during the day. If you're in school, you can use that during the day. I mean, there was people that came in and they were like, I'm afraid I'm a teacher, or, you know, I come from this profession. Well, just use CBD. I mean, it'll help with the inflammation, it'll help with the pain, it'll help with the anxiety, whatever you have going on, it will help. It's uplifting, but it's like soothing at the same time, because it keeps the pain at bay.
Yeah.
And it not only keeps the pain at bay, it treats the condition, is what CBD does, it treats the condition. THC helps with the pain. It helps to, you know, if you do have like major anxiety and you do a hybrid, it's gonna give you a more calming effect, and then you'll be able to focus more. And if you need to get your work done, you could get your work done, and you're not gonna like pass out and go to sleep on it. But just explaining, like THC, you are gonna get a little bit of the high. CBD, you're not gonna get any high. Just to like make it more simple.
Yeah.
And THC does help with all the conditions as well. A lot of patients don't mind it, they need it, they're trying to get off of opioids, so yeah, they're gonna need a little bit of the THC to help with that, what they were used to getting.
That's a
to
good
help
point.
with the pain and stuff like that, yeah. Because they were injured, or, you know, something happened in their life where they had to be put on pain meds. So the THC does, you know, help patients get off of that, and that's what a lot of patients are using it for as well. Like they had a surgery 10 years ago and they're like, I'm still taking these meds and I'm sick of it. I feel like a zombie. I can't even function anymore. I'm having all of these side effects. So that's why I'm turning to medical cannabis. And I'm like, you're in the right place. This is definitely going to help you. I promise you it's going to help. It's about dosage as well, and getting the right product and the right strain that works with you. Everybody is different. And everybody reacts to it differently. So it was like going over that and making them feel comfortable, like it's okay, this is medicine as well. People are so used to hearing about prescription stuff and that being their go-to for their medical condition and for their pain. But you know, the more education we get out there and help people understand the difference with CBD and THC, or that you can combine the two and do a 1-to-1 ratio if you need a little bit of that THC, is helping understand the difference of the two. And trial and error again, and understanding the whole concept of it. It is a natural way of doing medicine.
Yeah.
You're not going to have all of these side effects with like it affecting your kidneys or your liver, or you overdosing. You cannot overdose with cannabis.
Yeah.
So it's helping people understand that, and once they understand that, it makes it a lot easier for them, because they feel more comfortable with the whole process and the whole situation, and how it all comes together and how it works and the benefits of it, which is the most important, is benefits of using medical cannabis.
Yeah, yeah. And again, you said that was a really loaded statement there. You said a lot, and I think most of the time it's the education part, you know. And for you, what do you think the biggest shortcoming of the doctors not educating? Like, how can doctors become more educated? Is it just talking to people like you more often? Like you going into these offices and breaking things down? What would you
You're
like to see?
asking one of the hardest professions in the world with the biggest ego to ask for help in something that they pay $200 for a 2-hour course. And the only reason, I shouldn't say only, one of the main reasons, and I don't care how much of an advocate, and this is a fact, that you speak to any doctor, how much of an advocate they say they are, to half that reason why they took that course, there's no penalty on their license. It's a recommendation they give to the state. The state is the one who gives the prescription, technically. So now the state's trying to come back to us and say, hey, now they want to govern the bud. Now they want to put the responsibility back on our doctor offices. They wasn't doing the right thing the first time. They wasn't educating the patient the first time. Now you want to say we're going to regulate patients for what, 2.5 ounces?
Yeah.
For 5 weeks, 35 days? Come on now. How's that going to work? What do you think?
It's going to be very interesting how it all comes together when it's actually being used at the dispensaries, how it's going to affect that all. And I think there's going to be a lot more patients for sure, because they do want to do the smokable. You know, they want to be able to have that opportunity and that window open. Why not? You know. But it's going to be very interesting. It's not a lot, and hopefully that'll change. And this is just opening the doors and them seeing like the benefits of it all and kind of embracing it more and saying like, okay, we can do it a little bit differently and regulate it a little bit differently. It is helping people. Like we're seeing a significant difference with people just getting off of all these pain meds. And
Yeah, what they're
doing
going
a
to
lot
see
better.
is the difference between seeing 100 and 150 patients and seeing 250 patients a day.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to see, is the gross profits of it.
Yeah.
They're not going to hear none of that. We're talking about Miss Jones to be God honest. They ain't going to hear none of that.
That's the unfortunate part, though.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not unfortunate. We just got to scream it. We have to make a difference. Like, there's no way in shit that we're telling me by next week this time you can go and purchase marijuana, the actual bud.
Yeah.
And doctors don't know how to fucking prescribe it. Come on now.
So who?
I was
Okay.
talking to, go ahead.
No. Well. So where's that gonna? Who's that gonna fall on eventually?
It's going to fall on the doctors and the doctor offices, and they're going to get their license taken away.
Yep.
You're going to see much more of the smaller offices, the wannabes, get killed. Just the pain mills. Just the pain mills. I've been around it. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Back in the day when the pain mills were going so great and everything was so good, life was kosher for those couple of years.
That's right.
We're in year number, Trace? 3, right?
I think so.
I guarantee you this, year number 4 come around next year, this whole shit's gonna change. You see they haven't introduced edibles yet? Edibles is gonna be a different script. I told my whole staff it's gonna be a different script. Remember, it's 6 months. The new law is 6 months that you have for your marijuana. Your second script is 7 months. We as a doctor office, we have to now charge our patients, separate the visits, and make sure to understand a patient can't go in there buy CBD and buy the oils if they want to, THC, and they go to the dispensary. We can educate them all they want. Take A, B, and C. You're not able to go in there and buy CBD oil, well, any type of CBD product, and go buy your THC oils. It's not happening. It's 2 different scripts on there.
Yeah.
How the hell are you gonna do your bud now? So we have to make sure all 3 of your scripts are right. Now you go in there. let's say you purchase CBD products and you can't purchase the THC products. You contact our doctor office. We look like idiots, don't we?
Yeah.
How annoying is that? You have to hey, you didn't tell your patient about this? No, we did. The state of Florida is setting us up. The state of Florida sets us up to be a war, bro. They set us up for failure. It's about your money. They're seeing the money aspect of it. She just told you right here, and she broke it down to us beautifully what everything particularly does. And she gave us some aspect I wish dispensaries are going to hear. Think about Harvest. Shout out to Harvest. I think Harvest is a great dispensary. Why in the heck would they bring out any other product besides the oils? The 4 main dominant oils that they have. I have a suggestion. I think we talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
I think they're waiting to bring out the bud, and that's the smartest thing to do. Any new product to come out to any dispensary takes about 3 months to come out. The yield time, 8 to 12 weeks. Then you got to figure your packaging is another 2 weeks to get done. You're between 12 and 14 weeks to bring out any new product. Harvest opened up about 2-3 months ago now. Technically, their grand opening was about a month ago. That's a smart place to be at. Hope other dispensaries catch on.
Yeah.
I think the state of Florida is really going to set us up. I think there's going to be a lot of backlash, to be God honest. Prices are going to go up. Patients are going to flow in. But in about 6 to 12 months, when patients are redoing their cards, it's going to be, a patient should do, or how do you think the state of Florida is going to do that with the 2.5 ounces? Are they going to do a gram? Because they sell pre-rolls. Are they going to push the patients into the pre-rolls? Because there's no limit on pre-rolls you can buy.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I'm interested to see how that's all going to go down and work out.
I think pre-rolls will be the biggest one. I think that's how they're going to do it. Think about this shit. You buy your 2.5 ounces for $6.50. Then that's all you can buy for those first 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't limit how much pre-rolls you can buy.
Not at all.
So that has to go off in milligrams also. So we're going to put 50,000 milligrams for your oil, and then 50,000 milligrams for your bud. And then you'll be able to buy whatever you want. And it's 1 gram per blunt. So that's open season for a lot of patients now. So the state of Florida basically regulated it to be recreational, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, so how would you, in your professional opinion, how would you like to see patients become more educated on how THC and CBD, how can all of those things help their condition?
Good question, Sean.
Yeah, those are all good questions. I think creating more events for sure, and having like affiliations with dispensaries so that they can have maybe one of their people at their dispensary come out and share like how the products work, what they put in their products as well, so that the patients do have that option, like, okay, I'm steering more towards this way.
Mm-hmm.
Just breaking all of that down, but definitely getting more education out there and like doing events, and so that patients are exposed, future patients are exposed to the information and know where to go.
We should do a 420 event. We should. I mean, quite God honest, we have about a month to go to. We haven't planned a 420 event. We should show, since this is medicine, everybody thinks about 420, think about getting high and getting stoned, partying. We should throw an educational 420 event.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a good thing to get out there, Sean.
Yeah.
And you could probably be
Be the head host. I don't know.
The head host.
What do you guys think out there? Watching DM us?
So it seems like, you know, what you were doing with patients, you know, you were telling them, hey, you have multiple sclerosis or Crohn's, this is what I would recommend. What do you typically see patients come in with? Like, give me like top 3 that you are always telling people, hey, this is what I would recommend.
Anxiety and depression, that goes hand in hand.
We'll say that's one.
That's
Okay.
one.
She tried to slip one in there.
No.
Hand right there.
I'm gonna keep you honest. Keep you honest.
Chronic pain, just
Okay.
chronic pain, just
Good one.
Mm-hmm.
surgeries that they've had in the past, or if they have like a lot of metal in their body from surgeries
yep.
and things like that, and cancer.
Let's back up. Let's say I come to you and I said, hey Josie, I'm suffering from some serious depression here. What kind of cannabis would you recommend for me? Or not even cannabis, CBD, what do you recommend?
How are you taking it? That's your first question.
Well,
what's your method of administration
see,
in which you choose to take medical cannabis?
I don't even know that. That's why I'm asking her.
It's impossible. No, it's impossible. There's no way you will not be able to go into a dispensary. I'm not thinking about how you want to take cannabis. Your first thought, think about the question you just asked.
Yeah.
You came into a dispensary.
Mm-hmm.
Your first question should be, what is your method of administration? how would you wish to choose it? You can't tell me there's no way. How would you want you to smoke it? Obviously, you came in here thinking of a way to take it, right?
Well,
tell me. You tell me.
If for instance, if I have an older person, if I've got let's say I'm 65 years old, I have been totally, somebody like your mother who was totally against it, and I just assume I'm just gonna have to smoke blunts for the entire day and be stoned on the couch, and then you're telling me, oh, there's other ways to do it.
Yeah.
I don't even know any other way. You know what I mean? I am like ground floor, no knowledge whatsoever.
I'm happy you explained that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Because, I mean, honestly, if you're in that situation, you don't know what you don't know. As stupid as that sounds, you have no idea what you're getting into and the types of different methods that you can use. So that's why I wanted to ask you, for depression or anxiety, how do I even do anything? What's the thing that you recommend most for somebody like that?
First of all, when somebody walks in, I ask first, like, are you familiar with medical cannabis? Sometimes they are, and they know exactly what they want, or they can say, like, what are you offering, or what would you suggest? Not recommend, suggest. Sometimes not even say suggest. You can say, like, oh, I've seen this amount of patients doing Blue Dream for depression during the day, or sour diesel. Some people love sour diesel. It's a really popular strain as well.
Who didn't catch that out there? You get a trade secret. I just seen X amount of patients use Blue Dream. I like that. That's a good way. That's a trade secret right there, my love.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
Just things like that. If they weren't sleeping, then of course you want to try Granddaddy Purple or Sensi Skunk, or there's just different types of strains. And again, everybody reacts to it differently. There was very few people that sativas would make them sleepy, and indicas they could use during the day. But first question is always, like, are you familiar with medical cannabis? No. And then you know exactly which way to go from there. You can be like, okay, well, do you know the difference with CBD and THC? No, I don't know, like, anything at all. So then you would have to break that down. Okay, with CBD, it'll help with all of your conditions that you just mentioned, but you're not going to feel any psychoactive effects, no high with it. And if you're okay with a little bit of the high, if you've never, ever, ever done medical cannabis, but you're on a bunch of pain meds, okay, try a 1-to-1 and see how that works.
Smart girl.
And start that off with that. You don't want to go in like with 90% of concentrates if you've
blasted.
never, and then you're going to be like, that was the worst experience I've ever had. Yeah, because you had too much of it at that dose at that particular time. You weren't ready for that. You have to build up a little bit of a tolerance to it and ease your way into it. So of course, dose, you want to do the minimal dosing. And not everybody likes vaping. They want to do oil and do the sublingual drops, and that works similar to edibles. And some people cannot stand the taste of oils, so then you want to go to capsules if that's what you prefer. Some people can't vape because their medical condition doesn't allow them to. So they can do edibles with the oils, or they can just put a little bit in their drink if they want to deter the taste. But
that's a good idea. I didn't think about that.
Some people are not comfortable with vaping, and they were like, no, I don't want to smoke. I want to do just the oils. So, just doing that, just explaining the difference and asking them too, like, what would you prefer? Do you want to do drops? Do you want to do vaping, or do you want to do capsules? And some people will combine all three. Some people, everybody's different. Whatever they're comfortable doing, I always tell them at the end, you have to feel comfortable. Like, what do you feel comfortable doing? Do you want to vape? Are you okay with that? Do you want to just do drops? And then go from there and see, work your way around them, because you have to tailor it to the patient. Everybody's different.
I got a question for you. Did you ever experience your patients where they felt that smoking was socially unacceptable, where they only wanted to vape in their car, or they only wanted to vape in the bathroom? Did you get those type of patients?
There was a couple of people, that they did not, or they were afraid that it would get to their lungs with the vape, and it's a mess. It's not like smoking cigarettes, so you had to like kind of be like, okay, it doesn't, you're vaping, it's a mist. It's not like where you're smoking a cigarette. That's a little bit different. And then they were like, oh, okay, like they didn't really know.
Nice.
Or if they work, they can't keep stepping out to vape every 2 hours, because it only lasts so long. So they'll do sublingual drops, and they can go to the bathroom or at their desk and just do the drops under their tongue and keep going about their day. So it depends, the condition, the profession that you have as well. Some companies are okay with people vaping. They don't mind it.
I think that's a good point. When you said, the opioids, and you see people that are addicted to it. that's the beautiful thing about this is that, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, in no way have I heard opioids being able to, be customized to each individual patient. Generally, you're going to get hooked on those, and you're going to need more and more and more and more. With this, you're explaining, hey, let's gradually find a dosage and an amount that's going to work for you, and you can adjust it accordingly. There's a lot of customization, and there's no addictive
Total
qualities to it.
customization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not addicted to it. You said yesterday when we talked, it's more habitual. That's where the addictive thing comes. And that's not even with any, that's not with everything at all. You
Correct.
know?
Yeah.
We had a question on here. I think Jessica wants to know fibromyalgia and fibromyalgia here. Any recommendations?
If you're comfortable with THC, I think Blue Dream is a really, really good strain for that.
Why Blue Dream?
Because it helps with chronic pain. That one is like really, really known for helping with chronic pain, Blue Dream. And that's why it's such a popular strain, because it helps with chronic pain. And with fibromyalgia, you are in chronic pain.
All the time.
All the time. Like somebody can just touch you slightly or squeeze you like that and it will hurt, like really, really bad. And some people who, if you're not comfortable with THC, then you can just do CBD and do it a couple of times a day until you start building up, it starts building up into your body. Because with CBD as well, it doesn't work immediately like THC does. So that's why a lot of people prefer THC, because it does give you that immediate pain relief. CBD does take a little bit to build into your body. It's kind of like a vitamin, kind of looked at like a B12 or something like that. After a couple of days, then you'll see the significant difference with pain relief, because it treats it. So of course it's not going to treat it in one day. It's a gradual thing. You have to do it every day. And when you stop using it, you will see the difference.
So with something like that, with fibromyalgia, where it's, constant pain everywhere, would that be considered a sativa or an indica? Break that down for that person.
Oh, a hybrid. A hybrid that's sativa dominant,
Okay.
Blue Dream specifically. So that way it is uplifting. It'll help you with your pain and you can get things done throughout the day if you do have to work or if you're at home with your family, etc. If you're in chronic pain, of course, when you're sleeping, then you're going to want to steer towards an indica, straight indica, not a hybrid. But CBD works amazing for fibromyalgia as well if you want to do that during the day, if you have to work or be around your kids and you're not comfortable with doing any THC around your family and things like that. Nice. CBD helps with inflammation and pain. That's what it's for. Yeah. So CBD would work great for it. Straight CBD or Blue Dream, I think, is like one of the most popular hybrids because of the amount of sativa that it has in it.
Yeah. Let me just see if there's any more questions on here. Dan Casey says, okay, I have back pain. What could I take during the day when I'm working to help with pain?
CBD.
No CBD.
You come into our office, you can go on agreenleaf.com, you can get your recommendation done.
Yep.
You can then go to a dispensary and purchase THC and CBD products, whereas right now, get your CBD products going.
Yeah,
just like
start the
just
CBD.
said.
Yeah, start the CBD. Create a regimen with it a couple of times a day, every day. You'll start seeing a significant difference. If it worked for my mom, it can work for anybody.
Yeah. And again, Carrie said, hey, if you don't have your card yet, we can get you in same day.
Yep.
So just give us a call. I put the link in the description on Facebook and Instagram. You guys have to go to our YouTube channel or Facebook and get that. So make sure you just go in there, you type in agreenrelief.com, go to get started, and then fill out that initial paper, those forms. It's very short, and you can get set up same day.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, so we've covered quite a bit of things today, and I'm sure we're gonna have you back on because you are a wealth of knowledge.
She's the queen.
The
Oh,
queen.
no, I'm not, but thank you.
Well, do you have any kind of closing thoughts or anything that you would like to say to everybody before we
wrap up?
wrap up?
Get your information, get educated. Education is key, and know the difference between the two. Talk to your family and friends about it. There's a lot of people now more that are patients than not Like a lot of people are patients now.
Yeah.
It's more common than not. And talk to anybody here. You can call and ask any questions that you would like, and they would answer over the phone with you, and come in and have like your little consult and your appointment. You'll see the significant difference. You won't be disappointed with medical cannabis. It always works. It doesn't matter what condition you have. Yeah, and that's all I have to say. Thank you for having
so
me.
much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
This
it
is
was-
episode number 10, double digits.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Yes.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate you.
Well, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Do we have?
Yes, we have another guest coming out tomorrow. Something very,
Perfect.
very special. I've known him for a good while. He's a troubled youth and came into a good young man. This is year 3 of helping him. And we'll get to see the progression story.
Awesome. We love it. The transformation. So, again, make sure you guys are following us on everything. So, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts. We are everywhere. You can't get away from us. And again, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys. That was very fun.